Disclaimer. This is a self-cast reflect immune tanky build that also deals good damage. This is not a 7 million DPS speedy glass cannon build. It is meant to be able to do all content while also leveling and not abusing broken mechanics. Low life builds are not budget builds. I love life builds, but I feel that low life Righteous Fire Guardian will always be superior to Righteous Fire life builds when talking about the harmonious blend of damage and survivability of Righteous Fire. This build is far from being budget friendly, but I'm here to show you the best builds in-game without exceptions. That doesn't mean it's not working properly with the budget-friendly gear. Recommendations for that and all kinds of questions are and will be answered on a specific thread by AhFack and me on the PoE forum or in the comment section of this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss any new builds we came up to. Without further ado, lean back, relax and let's get started. Content Overview. This build guide contains build showcase, disclaimer, content overview, equipment, gems, jewels and abyss jewels, flasks, skill tree, ascendancy points, Pantheon powers, bandit choice and some gameplay. Helmet. Rare helmet. The highest rolled energy shield helmet with a mana reservation enchant is best in slot for us. Since we turn life into energy shield with presence of Chayula, a solid energy shield life helmet is also usable. For league play, Vertex is a great helm for this slot. It is quite affordable, can give 300 flat energy shield and gives us +1 gems for our auras and enlighten. Main hand. Rare scepter. Any scepter with lots of elemental and fire damage with good cast speed is what you want. A free prefix for Leo crafted 30% damage over time is great, since that boosts both Scorching Ray and Righteous Fire. If you can get a rare scepter with +2 fire gems in order to achieve level 23 Purity of Fire, that would also be a best in slot prefix for us. A Doriani's Catalyst is great unique for this slot. Scepter is great so you can use shield charge while leveling and eventually swap to Lightning Warp for endgame and boss farming. Offhand. Rare shield. Arguably one of the most important pieces of this build is a good spell damage shield with crafted reduced damage over time. If you're in standard, get one with legacy 20%, but if you're in league, the regular 5% can work just fine. Spring Leaf will be used for early leveling with Righteous Fire. Once you can equip a Rise of the Phoenix, it will be your go-to shield. After Rise of the Phoenix, an Elder energy shield based shield with +2 max fire resistance and a free suffix for 5% reduced damage over time is best in slot. It is a good way to keep your regeneration up while gaining 1k plus energy shield from Rise of the Phoenix. Body armor. Chevron's wrappings. If you're low life, you need to be wearing a Chevron's wrapping so chaos damage doesn't bypass your energy shield. A +1 gems shafts is not necessary, but is one of the highest pure damage upgrades for this build period. A double legacy shafts isn't really worth the price tag associated. I would really recommend a +1 gems shafts instead. For leveling you can use a Solaris Lorica. Gloves. Rare gloves. A solid pair of rare Delirium gloves are best in slot for us. 30% more damage over time essentially turns our Righteous Fire into a 5 link at no additional cost. Dexterity is a great suffix to have on gloves since we cannot get it on helmet or boots. Commandment of Light enchant is the best enchant for us since it drops Consecrated Ground. Consecrated Ground gives us 6% energy shield regeneration, which is massive. You could run any difficulty of lab to get the 6% regeneration from the enchant. It doesn't have to be Überlab commandment version, as it only scales the damage it procs around you. Boots. Death's Door. Death's Door with a 2% regeneration enchant is the safest pair of boots for us. Bleed immunity is GG since we run Righteous Fire. We don't want any unexpected sources of damage over time to catch us. Strength is great for us as well, since we need strength for vitality and blood magic support. Syntrack is another good option, especially for league play. Belt. Rare belt. 3.1 brought a very important new mod for us, the Shaper exclusive mod of 20% increased energy shield recovery rate. This is one of the most important mods for this build, since it boosts our energy shield regeneration significantly. Once you're able to, having this mod on a belt is essential. You can go with either a crystal belt base for 80 flat energy shield inflict or a Stygian Vice in order to use an abyss jewel. I prefer a Stygian Vice. Essence of Spite for 55 plus intelligence is also quite useful on a belt, since intelligence gives us both energy shield percentage and mana, which turns into more energy shield. Lastly, the Shaper exclusive mod of 10% maximum energy shield is another amazing mod for us for obvious reasons. 3.1 definitely gave us a lot to choose from the belt department. Amulet. Presence of Chayula. Presence of Chayula is almost the centerpiece of the entire build. Stun immunity, life transforming into energy shield and even 60% chaos resistance. This is indisputably the best neck for this character. +1 max resistance is the best corruption, but is quite expensive. 4% extra block is a pretty handy corruption for us as well. Rings. Rare rings. Rings are a great source of energy shield and damage for us. Essence of Anger crafted opals are best in slot for us. You also want them to have flat energy shield, life, intelligence, and if you're in standard league, a ring with 20% energy shield is a must. If you're in temporary league, your last prefix should be mana. Since we're guardian, mana also translates to energy shield. Your last suffix should be mana regeneration for the sustain or resistance or stat you might need. If you do not have a +2 fire gem scepter, a +2 or +3 unset ring is also a great spot to put your purity of fire in order to achieve level 23. In our helmet we will socket Purity of Lightning, Purity of Ice, Vitality and Enlighten support. These are 3 of our main auras we reserve on mana. In our weapon we will socket Orb of Storms, increased critical strike support and Purity of Fire. You want Orb of Storms linked to increased critical strike support in order to proc Elemental Overload and Elemental Equilibrium on enemies. If you have a +2 fire gems prefix on your scepter, you can achieve a level 23 Purity of Fire. If you do not, an unset ring with +2 or +3 gems is another good option. In our shield we will socket Lightning Warp, less duration support and Swift Affliction support. You want to use Lightning Warp for endgame and boss farming. For leveling or chaining maps you can use Shield Charge with Shield Charge, faster attack support and Fortify support. In our body armor we will socket Scorching Ray, Controlled Destruction support, Elemental Focus support, Efficiency support, Burning Damage support and Swift Affliction support. If you are using a +1 gems shafts, replace Swift Affliction with Empower 4. In our gloves we will socket Righteous Fire, Elemental Focus support, Burning Damage support and increased Area of Effect support. Swapping Area of Effect out for Concentrated Effect is handy if you lack some Righteous Fire damage on bosses or certain map mods. In our boots we will socket Discipline, Clarity, Empower support and Blood Magic support. These are our 2 auras we reserve on life in order to achieve low life. You want your Discipline as high as you can get it, but don't level your Clarity up too much. You can also replace Empower with Stone Golem if you need some more regeneration. If you intend on running Hall of Grandmasters, be sure your life is not reserved below 20%, as Slayers can instantly cull you. I achieved this by simply taking out the Empower before I run the map. Jewels and Abyss Jewels. Energy within unique jewel is a good option for us by the melding wheel. Rare jewels are also very important. They are a good source of damage and energy shield for us, as there is only so many efficient energy shield damage nodes to get on the tree. In League you want 8% energy shield on all jewels, followed by some of the following damage mods prioritized in this order: increased burning damage, fire damage, damage over time, global damage, cast speed, spell damage and resistances or stats you might need. For Abyss Jewels it's very straightforward. Energy shield, damage over time while holding a shield, life, increased damage if you have killed recently, regeneration while moving, onslaught chance, movement speed and resistances or stats you might need. Flasks. Roomies Concoction. Any good roomies you can find will certainly help. Block is important to us because the longer we can let the ray build and do its thing, the more damage we do. I would value the spell damage roll higher than the regular roll, since we're more than likely kept on block every 5 seconds through Ascendancy. The Sorrow of the Divine. This is the closest thing to a life flask you will ever have. Get the highest duration you can find and you will love it. You could also just as easily roll by a magic one with increased duration and another mod you like on there. I choose to use this because it's so common. The duration is longer than a magic sulfur and you still get 3 uses out of it. Witchfire Brew. Witchfire Brew is a great defensive and offensive flask for us. Free level 21 Despair Curse, Smoke Cloud on use and extra damage over time. This flask is the trifecta. Quicksilver Flask. Being chilled, frozen is really frustrating for us, especially with that door. Also we need help speeding through maps and keeping up with all those pathfinders we might be mapping with. If you're playing solo, you could replace one of the Quicksilver Flasks with a Ruby Flask to act as a pseudo life flask as well. Ruby Flask. For Uber Atziri and harder bosses, I use Perpetual Ruby Flask of Adrenaline. A detailed skill tree plan, leveling advices and gear choices while leveling are listed in AhFack thread on the official Path of Exile forum. Links are given in the description below. Ascendancy points. As our Ascendancy points we're gonna take Time of Need, Radiant Faith, Unwavering Faith and Bastion of Hope in that specific order. Pantheon powers. We are going to take Soul of Arakali for 5% reduced damage over time with Captured Arachnoxia for 50% increased recovery rate of life and energy shield if you have stopped taking damage over time recently. For our Minor God we will take Soul of Abarat for 5% reduced fire damage taken while moving, or Soul of Tukuhama with Towering Ancient for up to 2% regeneration while stationary. Bandit choice. In Standard League we're gonna kill them all. In Temporary League, choose Oak for 1% regeneration. Also use Stone Golem if you need to, in order to sustain Righteous Fire with a rare ES shield. Note: if you have any questions regarding the build, such as leveling advices, budget recommendations, more gameplay footage, insert random question here, visit the written guide on the PoE forum and or visit AhFack's YouTube channel, links are in the description below. Thanks for watching my video. I would greatly appreciate your support with a simple like on this video, your thoughts and feelings about the content itself in a comment. On top of that, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more videos from me in the future. It is totally free, so become a part in our great community. A big thanks to AhFack for creating the guide and providing me with the footage for our project. You can find all kinds of God mode PoE on his YouTube channel, so check it out. Take care and have a great day.
This is the Crucible, the nexus of nothingness, an equilibrium of the end.
They're coming through. Let me help you.
Imperfection must be reshaped. You must be reshaped!
To me, Exile, quickly! Father, it's me.
Everything short of perfection is irrelevant. Power under the